Hello everybody and welcome to JMU for February. I was about to say welcome to Twitch.tv, I'm so used to streaming at the moment. One of my New Year's resolutions, and I can't remember if I talked about this in a previous video, was to do a lot more in the way of actual videos for YouTube. JMU was something I was kind of slacking on a little bit last year, especially with like all the shit that was going on. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about. But it is something I'm trying to bring back on a more regular basis. I am thinking about more series as well, so there we go. Let's get the boring stuff out of the way. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, and it's weird because I've never really known what to do with JMU. Do I talk about the previous month and then a little bit about what I'm doing for the next month? Do I just talk about the next month? It's a bit confusing, but I didn't do a JMU for January, so you're getting a bumper edition. Congratulations. What happened in January? I had like the weirdest and almost probably worst day ever happen all on the same day in January 4th to be precise. First day back to work after being on furlough since April last year. Not first day completely, like I'd done, you know, I've talked about this previously. I did like a day a week in July, 2 days a week in August, and it was progressing. There was more coming up, but this is me completely off furlough now. I get out of the house, get into the car, start the car up, no problem. I thought it'd be a bit of an issue, I hadn't driven it for a week. A bit snowy, bit icy outside, drive off, and just hear a grinding, crunching noise, and I'm like, it's probably snow, probably ice on the road. Carried on driving, still happening. I was like, shit, what's happening? And at this point I was more like under a street light, so I could kind of see if anything was wrong with the car. Got out of the car, had a look around, couldn't see anything obvious. Got back into the car, started driving again. Still grinding, so I took it all the way around the block. Parked it back out front. Got out again. Looked around again. Ah. Car tyre. Wheel arch. That's probably about normal for my front end. It was that. My front suspension had completely failed on the driver's side, I later found out. Which sucked. Kind of awful. Especially considering it was replaced, I don't think, even a year or so ago. Not that it should matter too much, I didn't even drive much last year. But yeah, it completely failed. So I couldn't go to work. Had to get that towed, and that was a nice car bill after having, like, a relatively okay one in December after my MOT. And then, to continue talking about cars, we're on the subject. I have since had problems with my gearbox and being able to shift it into the right gear and stuff like that. Americans, shifting gears is something you do when you actually drive a car properly and don't just rely on automatic, just so you're aware of that. Yeah, third gear wasn't working properly. Reverse hasn't been working properly for a while, and occasionally first was getting a bit of an issue. So drove it down to my mechanic friend, as usual. Told him the issue, he had a drive, realised what was wrong with it, and said, yeah, it's probably going to cost you about £400. So, that would have meant if I'd have paid for that, I'd have spent £800 in 2 months on a car that I'd already spent about £1,500 on in the last 2 years, and I hadn't really driven it much last year either. So, it was time to get a new car, and I've timed this incredibly well. I should have recorded JMU, the weekend before February, but here we are. I literally this morning put down a holding deposit for a brand new car. Not brand new, I'm kidding. I'm poor. It's an older car, but it checks out. It's a Ford Focus 09 plate, so it's more recent than anything else I've had. Relatively as well. Like most of my cars have been like, 14, 15 years older than current year. This one is 11 years old, technically? Yeah, 11 years, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Going back to a Ford as well, which is nice. For those who don't know, my first car was a Ford Fiesta, which got written off by an ambulance crashing into it. Thanks, ambulance service in Stafford. There's a story there. It's findable. But yeah, long story short, it crashed into me. It came onto me, and it got written off. And I've had 2 C3s since, Citroen C3s. They've both been awful. They're fine cars to drive around. I've just had crappy reliability issues on both of them, so I'm never touching Citroen again. So yeah, there's my car story for January. Hopefully I don't have any more for a while. I'm hoping the new one is quite good, like noise-wise as well, if that makes sense. I used to do a series called Road Vlog, which was like vlogging in a car while driving on the road. It's very clever, like Road Hog, big brain. Anyway, yeah, I'm hoping I can do more of that again, because I always quite enjoyed doing like 5-minute quick vlogs of like whatever bullshit was on my mind while driving. It was fun. Also this month, not big stories. On top of, it's all family related and it's all kind of crappy. On top of the car breaking on that first day, back to work, I had an elderly relative collapse in the street while shopping. Kind of panicked, kind of worried. She's one of my favourite relatives. Yeah, luckily it didn't seem to be too much, if that makes sense. Well, at least, you know, she's saying it isn't. It's hard to tell, but, you know, hopefully she's alright, and I'm glad to report she's okay at the moment. 7 or 8 of my relatives distant have had COVID and tested positive for COVID. And yeah, it's been a weird month, I guess. Overall, it's been a pretty crap month. Bitcoin's been crazy. I probably won't go too much into that. Didn't bother with GameStop stock. I'm not an idiot. And my love life is also fucking awful. Someone I thought I had a future with ended up completely crushing my heart, and I went full on fucking nuclear and blocked her on everything. Do you know, it's weird. The more I've mentioned this, I don't want to go too much into details because, you know, as much as I'm full of hate right now, I respect privacy to some degree. It feels very much like 2015, and if you're not new to the channel, 2015 is the year I started streaming because I needed a distraction, I needed a purpose in life. It's happened twice in the last 5-6 years, which is kind of depressing. But yeah, I stayed single for the entire year. I was chatting to a couple of people, but nothing really serious at the time. And I kind of just like got my life rebalanced, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm looking to do now. Yeah, so that means, in some kind of good news, that means more energy and more resources and more time being poured into content. Which brings me on to something else I wanted to talk about, and that is the whole being off furlough, trying to schedule my life again. In my mind, I know exactly what I want to do with my week. Monday to Friday I'm working, obviously. But in the evenings, you do Monday, you do Tuesday, you do Thursday, you do Sunday, streaming evenings. Perfect, we love these. Wednesday evening, we do some chores, 3 or 4, not too many, just to keep the place clean. Saturday, we do chores, just to get anything big out of the way, like vacuuming and stuff like that. And then Saturday afternoon to evening, we have available for either streaming or recording videos, which is what I'm doing now. Saturday night is movie night with my friends, which is awesome because I like to hang out with friends. I actually do social shit now, even though it's all online. I love it. It's fucking great. And then Sunday is my day off. I don't do anything on Sunday unless I fancy doing a stream or some content creation. At the moment, I'm really finding it hard to do that. The streaming is an issue. I have a lot of it, especially like the last week. I've got a lot of energy for streaming again, which is quite nice. Work is going okay. I don't love it, but I'm not full of hate anymore. January I was. Like, going back the first 2 weeks, I was ready to shoot somebody. Probably myself. But yeah, that's got a lot better now, so that's alright. Yeah, January's been a very throwaway month in a lot of ways. I was tweeting about it like an idiot, but like, first week was shit, second week was okay, third week, shit, fourth week has been alright so far, so we seem to be following a pattern at the moment. I'd quite like just normal weeks and then 1 or 2 fantastic weeks during the year, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, now that we talked about what I want to do, February's plans for streaming. At the moment, there are 4 games I should be somewhat cycling through, with maybe some sporadic Sporkle and stuff like that to include. I might do some Sporkle videos, actually. I need to talk to Murdo about that at some point. But yeah, at the moment, the plans for February are Minecraft, Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. I want to get through the story. Probably won't do it in February. I'm probably going to have to go a bit longer, but who cares, right? I've quit Warcraft because F that game. So Shadowbringers, I'll be focusing on getting the story done on stream, and maybe any off streams I'll be doing some crafting and whatever. Hades, I want to get to the end of as well. That's a game that requires me to finish it 10 times basically to finish the story. Granted, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the story. I quite like just shooting my way through and having a great time, but there's still a story there. It's pretty cool. And she's just nude, huh? And Horizon Zero Dawn DLC. I still haven't started that. I think I'm starting that Sunday, which will be tomorrow. I think I'm putting a video out today. Or this video out today. So yeah, should be starting the Horizon DLC as well tomorrow. So yeah, a lot of things going on. And on top of that, no giveaways yet as well either. As you can tell from me having to buy a new car. I don't have a lot of money spare right now, so giveaways are still limited. But thank you very much to everybody who has been asking about those. They will be coming back, I promise. Clip of the month and on the wall are the two things I like to do. If I can get them started again by midway through this year, that'd be nice. Just make sure I've got the money spent more than anything. I'm a poor person. And finally, Patreon shout-outs. Thank you very much to my awesome patrons who are supporting me on patreon.com/jestertainment, especially during these shitty economical times. I really appreciate that. If you're struggling with money, feel free to send me Bitcoin. Thank you very much, of course, to my Patreon producers, Binglepin, Murdo, and Arya Winning Sun, and Noble. Thank you very much for continuing to support me. You guys are awesome, and I love you so much, and you're fantastic. Well, what's coming up this month? All the stuff I talked about on streaming. There's a cat in the background. I want to get back to doing Jester Ranks Off. I need to find 3 or 4 subjects that make sense for that. Pets is one of those, and I feel like I'm going to upset people with those, but I'm going to be figuring out some lists on that one. I'll do some wrestling ones, that'd be quite fun. Yeah, like I mentioned, might do some Sporkle videos. Still want to do a Game of the Year thing. Don't know what I'm going to do in regards to format for that, but yeah, it's something I've talked to Murdo about. Me and him need to talk about that and try and figure something out. And there's a couple of plans for videos. Still want to do a Final Fantasy XIV versus World of Warcraft video as well. Again, I'm trying to figure out the best way to format that, and that'll probably be a next weekend recording. So yeah, hopefully I'll get that out this month. It's on the board. I think I've showed you guys the board before, but my board of goals and stuff like that, you probably can't see it. More YouTube videos is a thing. Oh, and something else I'm doing. That calendar over there, see all those circles and dots, stuff like that? That's to do with my fitness thing. I'm trying at the moment to do 5,000 steps a day, which isn't a whole lot, I imagine, to some people, but it's a goal for me, leave me alone. But also, Nintendo Switch, the Ring Fit I'm doing quite a lot of now. What I'm basically doing with that calendar is, if I do the 5,000 steps, I get a green sticker, and if I do a session of Ring Fit, I get a red sticker. Sometimes I get both, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, it's not me trying to reward myself with gold stars, although I would like some gold stars if anyone's got any. Y'all got any gold stars? But yeah, it's basically me trying to keep track of me actually trying to do what I want to do, if that makes sense. You know, I'm trying to improve my fitness and stuff like that. It's been a thing that's been a bit of an issue for a while. I haven't really talked about this much at all, but I gave myself a little bit of a botheration, realizing that according to BMI, which I have been told is bullshit, and I should listen to that advice, but it still bothers me. Apparently I'm overweight. This actual, like, Adonis of a man is overweight. I'm kidding, by the way, I'm absolutely not. But, Adonis, I mean, the overweight bit, it might be. But, yeah, it's all muscle, right? It's all mass. That's what Max says from Always Sunny. I'm just stacking mass. It's all good. So, yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. Any words from you, Sylvie? You seem to be waiting there. Is there anything you want to tell YouTube? Do you wanna tell them anything? So the fact she's rubbing her head on my hand means she loves you, chat, and she really appreciates you watching the videos. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed today's video, I do loads of videos on YouTube, mostly Twitch content. On youtube.com/jesterondemand. To see what I'm ranting about this week, twitter.com/jestertainment_, and to see what I'm streaming, twitch.tv/jestertainment. If you want to support the channel, if you're watching and following, you're doing a great job, and if you're subscribing on YouTube, you're doing a great job. You don't follow on YouTube. Thank you very much, as always, really appreciate it. Sorry, Sylvia, I know you hate being held. If you want to support the channel even more, though, you can, of course, go to patreon.com/jestertainment, just like my wonderful Patreon producers, who are Binglepin, who's available at twitch.tv and twitter.com as Binglepin, Murdo, who is available at twitch.tv/Murdo, and twitter.com/MurdoHeroes, Arya Winning Sun, who's available at instagram.com/AryaWinningSun, and tiktok.com/@AryaWinningSun. Littles and Jelly Spoons, I'll be back on these videos on the JMUs next month, of course, and hopefully more YouTube videos will be coming down the pipeline soon. It's, again, something I'm trying to motivate myself into doing more of, and I do enjoy them. Just finding the motivation more than anything. Streaming's easy, because I'm like, I've got a chat to interact with, it's going to be like full of energy, I've got to be full of energy. Videos, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't have to do this right now, so I'm just going to kind of put it off and not do it. That is something I need to get better on, so hopefully I will. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. See ya!